Testing 1, 2, testing, testing. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3.
Commissioners, you want to have a board meeting?
Be a good time to start if you want it.
I think we're going to. Good evening, everyone. It's 6:30. I'm calling this regular meeting of the Planning Commission to order. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with section 19.83 and 19.84 Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Roll call is showing all commissioners present. Commissioner Ewert is absent, excused. We are now on to item 3, citizen input. Would anybody like to come forward tonight and speak? You've got 4 minutes. And oh, by the way, Happy New Year. And I do apologize for wearing some branded apparel here, but I heard there was a game over the weekend that the Bears beat the Packers. So that's kind of why I'm wearing it. So just thought I'd say that. Would anybody like to come forward and speak tonight? Good evening and welcome.
No, I'm not. Is it working? Okay. My main concern right now is a lot of things. And I'm just going to touch on one subject because of time. The Community Development Department on Holy Hill Gateway, nothing should be discussed on this project till this board has contacted and put every effort to have public involved in this agenda here, because it's going to cost us money. And you've already muzzled the public by voting down reading their emails, which to me is an absolute disgrace to the public taxpayer. This is our money that you're dealing with. And to shut their mouths it's wrong. It's really wrong. I've heard this from comments from everywhere I've gone. And now you're talking about a Holy Hill Gateway. Where's the public that is associated with this project? Has anyone contacted the people in their district, regardless if they live there or not? I don't care what happens to Holy Hill, to be very honest with you. After I looked at this projected tax bill that we're going to have, raising my taxes in a few years to more than I pay for my mortgage, this is crazy. Thanks to Mr. Krecklow and the other people, that these high-paid people, that I think we should clean house. I really do. And I don't want to be paying more than I pay for my home. And stuff like this is ridiculous. So I think this should be canceled till we have public meetings and an effort to get these people here that are affected by this project. And every time I come here, it's money, millions, thousands, everything, appealing board decisions. I don't understand why this is being allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. We have a president who I feel can do the job. I feel we've been let down in some areas, and I think it could change. And it just is crazy. So this is, and before we hear any proposals, the people involved should be here to decide if they even want that proposal before we even decide to have a proposal. So that's all I got to say. I'm sorry, I'm just really upset after I went over this tax structure that Matt gave me the other day and went over it with me. It's very, very upsetting. So all of you who live here, wake up and start listening to what's going on.
Will the speaker please say your name and your address?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Lynn Schauer, Bednar's 10121 Pawnee Court.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to come forward and speak? Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, David Baum, trustee for District 1. I gotta refute that last resident. The agenda item tonight is to have the discussion, to bring somebody forward to get the residents' input. The attitude that was presented when we are trying to get the information is just dumbfounding to me. Tonight, you are asked to pick a consultant to go get the resident input, which is what we're screaming about at this microphone. You have a choice to make tonight. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to come forward tonight and speak? Good evening and welcome.
All right, Melanie Smythe, N140W71, W7938 Cedar Lane. Good evening. So I've got 3 comments to make. The first one is about the community engagement. This has been long awaited, and we're delighted that we're finally getting to the point of being able to select some firm. There are 3 things that I want to remind people of that we've been asking for. The plan commissioners who are here on this dais should be involved in setting up the process and not just being moderators during meetings as they were before. So I would like to see them perfectly engaged and as they wish to be in actually setting up the process. It needs to be very different than it was last time, because if it's the same or similar, it won't be trusted again. So another thing that should be done is publicize the schedule of public meetings early, January, February. I saw on the various proposals that in the RFPs that there's a lot of meetings in the summer. Well, people are very busy in the summer with their kids and other things going on and vacations. Publicize the schedule early so people, if they are aware of these things and want to attend, can attend and put it on their calendar. Have a robust communication plan. You got to remind people, remind people, remind people, remind people. It happens to happen every week in multiple different ways of communicating. This was not done last time. Okay, the second thing, and this is what the handouts are. On the 15th of December at the GGF meeting, we had a presentation of the 5-year capital plan, which is the 11 by 17 sheets. There's about $100 million worth of stuff that this village has to pay for over the next 5 years. And that's not including everything, but that's what was put into the DPW plan. On that 15th of December, we had tax projections done. Our debt service is going to more than double by 2031 to $11 million. And our tax rate, if nothing were to change, will be at $6 million. So I am suggesting that there should be a temporary fiscal policy that no village funds, including anything in TID expenditures, should be spent until the Baird study is complete. I understand that it's underway, and that the village board, GGF, and plan commission have worked through an actual approach on dealing with the problems based on the results of that study. We cannot afford to do, we don't even know what we can afford to do. It's been neglected for years. So it's time to take a pause, temporary fiscal policy, no spending of village funds on anything to do with development that's not currently in the budget, until we get through the Baird study and further dissection of that information. It's actually scary. 6% tax rate is not to be tolerated. The last comment is that at the EDC, which is the Economic Development Commission, we've been making efforts in working through redevelopment and some other subject matter, but we haven't had a visit from the Plan Commission. And one of the things that we're supposed to do is provide you guys with advice or dig into things that you may or may not have time to do in your normal meetings. So I'm asking that you have a special meeting at the end of this month or sometime soon, and you decide what it is that you would like us to do. We can go down the road of looking through, someone suggested what to do about TIDs, but right now that doesn't seem to be appropriate based on the fact of what's happening with our fiscal situation. We don't know if that's right or not at this point. We need to look further into our economy and or the financials within the village, what we need to do about applying various tools. What are the other tools that we might want to apply to get us out of this current bind? So I'm asking that you guys spend some time on an agenda item, think about what it is that you would like us to research. We're happy to do it. We are starting to, because we haven't had any direction, we're going to look at existing buildings that are empty and some other things that are nothing to do with anything that you work on. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to come forward tonight? Do we have anybody on WebEx? Okay, we're moving on to item,
There are no hands in the air at this time.
okay, thank you. Item 4, the minute meetings. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 8th.
We have discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We're on to new business, item A. And I'm going to screw up the names. Jordan Roush, Daniel Linus, Olivia Tetlock, agents for Hawk House Performance LLC, and TechPlux LLC, property owner, conditional use permit for an approximate 6,000 square foot indoor baseball training and athletic development facility located at N115W19150 Edison Drive in Germantown Industrial Park. Jordan.
All right, thanks, Mr. Chairman. As you mentioned, this is a conditional use permit for indoor baseball training facility for the subject site on screen, zoned M1. It's an existing site within the industrial park. Hack House Performance is roughly 6,000 square foot indoor baseball training facility focused on strength and conditioning. They'll have various batting cages, turf training, surface areas, and other miscellaneous strength and conditioning activities within the interior space. As you saw in the packet, there are essentially no outdoor improvements outside of a proposed small adhesive sign on the primary door entrance to the east of the building. Here's the site on screen. The facility will occupy almost half of the existing industrial building. It's actually where a prior elite soccer academy was approved for this tenant space a couple years ago. This facility would be moving into that same 6,000 square feet. With parking to serve primarily on the eastern side of the building, with alternative spaces around the front of the building and to the west side of the building as well. A floor plan that was included in the packet showing the layout of the batting cages and other items. And some staff comments on here. You've seen these before. M1 district allows commercial uses that are permitted in the B2 district, but with a conditional use permit, provided it's deemed supportive and compatible with other industrial and business park uses. Indoor health and recreation establishments are allowed in the B2 district. So the proposed indoor baseball training and athletic development facility is similar to other uses that we've approved in the past, including Carter Schmitt's Training Center, martial arts training facility, and the aforementioned Elite Soccer Academy within this exact tenant space back in 2023. So with that, the recommendation of staff is to approve the conditional use permit for the indoor baseball training facility, subject to the 8 conditions listed in the packet. I can field questions, and I don't know if the applicant is in the audience or online, but we can call them up if needed prior to the public hearing.
Any questions for staff? Is the applicant here?
You may want to ask online. Is the applicant on WebEx?
I can't tell. There's a GW and a random call-in user on here, but they don't have their hand in the air.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. No questions for staff? Public hearing?
Yeah, public hearing.
Okay, we're now at 6:45, notice of a public hearing, Village of Germantown. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held before the Village of Germantown Plan Commission at the Germantown Village Hall located at N112W17001, Mequon Road, Germantown, Wisconsin, and virtually through the WebEx platform on the following date and at the time noted below, Monday, January 12, 2026, 6:30 p.m. or later. The purpose of said hearing will be to hear any and all parties, their attorneys or agents for or against the following application for a conditional use permit for an indoor health and recreation establishment from the property described below pursuant to section 17.33, 3G and 17.291 KK of the Village Zoning Code. The applicant is Jordan Roush, Daniel Linus, Olivia Tetlock, agents for TechPlux LLC, property owner, property address N115W19150 Edison Drive. Would anybody like to come forward tonight, either for or against? Is anyone on WebEx would like to speak for or against?
No
Okay,
hands
we're
are in the
closing.
air.
Thank you. We're closing this hearing at 6:46. Jordan.
I don't have anything further. Can field any questions. Otherwise, I'd ask for a motion. Yeah.
Baseball to softball. My kids, they took pitching class up in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
And I think the indoor facility, the way it's laid out, it's going to add a lot of value to our kiddos in Germantown and also the region too. So,
I just have one question.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
The parking on the east side of the building, is that accessed through the property next door to it? 'Cause I don't think
No.
there's a driveway, is there?
No, it looks a little funky on screen, but there's actually a little bit of a separator. It's all one pavement, if you will, but part of the drive access is on the subject property,
Okay,
and then part of the pavement goes to the other property, but it is separated as you drive in.
okay, thank you. That was the only concern I had.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for a 6,000 square foot indoor baseball training and athletic development facility located at N115W19150 Edison Drive, subject to the following 7 conditions.
Second.
We have discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We're now on to item B, Fast Signs, agent for Interplastic Corp. Property owner, sign review application for North American Composites at W194 and 11756 McCormick Drive. Jordan.
Yes, thank you. This is a wall sign application for American Composites located at the subject site on screen. It's also within the Germantown Industrial Park. Site is zoned M1. The sign proposed is on the western building facade or the front facade. And it's only one individual sign at 16 square feet as noted in the packet and the submittal materials. It's non-illuminated and shown on screen here. And so with that, the sign does comply with the Germantown sign code, and so staff's recommendation is to approve the sign.
Thank you. Entertain a motion.
Approval of the motion to allow the sign for North American Composites.
Second.
We have discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We're now on to item C, Flamingo Marine, agent for TI Investors of Germantown, VLLC, property owner, sign review application for Flamingo Marine at W210N12995 Gateway Crossing. Jordan.
Yep, so another sign application here for Flamingo Marine within the Holy Hill Gateway District. Site on screen here, it's Zilber 6 building off of Gateway Crossing, zoned M1, part of that PDD for the Gateway Corporate Business Park. Flamingo Marine actually occupied the space just recently, roughly 146,000 square feet. It's a boat manufacturing company, and the signage proposed, as you saw in the packet, includes 2 wall signs, a monument sign insert, and various directional signs that are small in size. You can see it here, each type of sign depicted and their location throughout the site. And also some of the images that were submitted in the sign package, pretty standard, Pat. Proposed wall signs and the directional signs do comply with the village sign code in terms of square feet and location on the building, and so therefore staff is recommending approval.
Thank you. Entertain a motion.
I move approval of the proposed sign package for Flamingo Marine as stated.
Sorry, second.
Thank you, Bridget. We have discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. On to item D, Community Development Department, Holy Hill Gateway District Master Plan Consultant Proposal Review and Recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Holy Hill Gateway District Master Plan is intended to be a supplement to and a refinement of the future land use plan map and table in the 2050 Comprehensive Plan. The master plan will guide future land uses, the amount, type, location, design, and appearance of future development and redevelopment, infrastructure improvements, and environmental resource protection in the Holy Hill Gateway District. As envisioned in the RFP, the process is intended to be a 9-month process to develop and adopt the master plan. The budget is expected to be between $65,000 and $90,000. The Plan Commission is intended to provide oversight to the consultant and the overall process, serving as the steering committee as set forth in the RFP. There are specific objectives to be obtained in the master plan process. Those are set forth in section 2 of the RFP on page 4. I won't read through those at this point, but we can if you'd like to at some point. We did receive a total of 5 consultants who submitted proposals, all meeting the general proposal requirements set forth in section 7 of the RFP on page 8. And those 5 teams include MSA Professional Services out of Milwaukee, the team of Vandewaal Associates and R.A. Smith out of where primary offices in Milwaukee and Madison, the team of Grafe and Kevin Schmolt with Furthermore out of Milwaukee, the team of Chastain and Associates, plus the 1861 Group and Development Planning and Partners out of the Schaumburg, Illinois area. And finally, the team of Confluence and SOMAS with offices in the Chicago area. The proposal evaluation and consultant selection process that's laid out in the RFP in section 8 on page 11 is summarized as follows. Review and recommendation by the RFP evaluation team comprised of the village staff, the administrator, DPW director, village engineer, community development director, and the associate planner, who will make a recommendation to the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission, in turn, will review and make a recommendation to the village board. And finally, the village board will make the final selection. There is an optional step that's built into the RFP, and we can discuss that this evening if you feel it's necessary, and that is to hold interviews of up to 3 of the consultants. If the Plan Commission or the board, if they decide and feel it's necessary to review or interview consultants. The selection criteria that's set forth in section 8 of the RFP on page 12 includes qualifications and demonstrated experience of the consultant or the team, understanding of and proposed approach to the master plan project, the community engagement plan that's proposed, and the project schedule and cost. In the RFP, it does state that the Plan Commission and the board reserve the right to base their decision on other criteria as well as they see fit. The remaining timeline laid out in the RFP includes tonight's meeting of the Plan Commission to review the proposals and make a recommendation to the village board, and next week on the 19th for the village board to review and make a final selection. Of course, if there's a recommendation to include interviews, that schedule will change. The RFP evaluation team did meet, and based on the criteria in the RFP and its own 1 to 5 ranking scheme, with 5 being the highest, has ranked the consultant proposals in the following order. Number 1, MSA. Number 2, the team of Vandewaal and R.A. Smith. And number 3, the team of Grafe and Furthermore. With that, we'll open for discussion on the proposals with the goal of the Plan Commission making a collective recommendation to the village board.
Thank you. Questions for Jeff? The process that was followed was a similar process that was followed by GGF for the selection of the new financial planner, which we pivoted from Ehlers to Baird. And also most recently, same process was followed for the village board in the selection of a consultant, a design consultant for Fire Station 2 for the renovation and expansion. So this is a similar process that was followed. So questions? I'm okay with MSA. I don't think we need to do any interviews. Just I'm only one commissioner speaking, but I have a question. I did peruse the RFPs in somewhat detail, but and I'm really pleased that we're going down this path. It's great. But is there any provisions included for a village-wide survey that we would push out? Because my concern is we may get the same people showing up, and I want to expand that to make it more convenient for people to opine.
Well, I believe I think all of the proposals included an option for a survey. I think all of them were an online survey. We'll based on who we select, we can discuss the parameters for the survey with them. I think it would be fairly easy if it's going to be an online, for example, like a SurveyMonkey survey, to make that available to everybody. I don't, and frankly, I don't think we probably could, but we don't want to limit it to just a certain select group of people within the corridor. So I think that's probably a given that whatever surveying we do will be able to be participated in by anybody, everybody in the village.
Great. Commissioners, questions? Bill?
I think the only thing with me is I question my own experience of how much of this I've done. So that's why I kind of feel like it would be nice to interview either the first and second or the first, second, and third applicants. I mean, just to base that on your decision, that the overall decision, not necessarily yours. This is the order we have it, but would it be good exercise for us to interview the top three? I don't know how the rest of you feel.
I actually went through a ranking, kind of like you'd done in the past, and my three were slightly different. I had MSA, Vanderwall, and Confluence in my top three, but close. So I mean, I wouldn't be against an interview unless you guys were, comfortable with the decision to go with MSA. They were within my top three as well.
Bridget?
I'll jump on the MSA bandwagon. They were also my top firm. My experience with interviewing is it tends to not be a differentiator between firms unless they're all really close. And for me, MSA was quite a bit above the others. All of them were very well qualified. They were very well done proposals. So it does come down to details. And I felt like MSA would provide a greater value for us. And I'm not sure that we'd have interview questions that would otherwise separate them.
I was more on the inclined to see what they would say, how they handled themselves. I mean, I see your point. Probably all five of these could do a good job, but it was just a way for me to differentiate a little bit.
Yeah, I would ask that whatever we decide to do, and let's say we go with MSA and they were my number one choice, I would ask that they show up for the village board meeting and do a brief presentation to the village board.
Which we could all watch.
Yeah. Bob, did you have any?
I spent a wonderful Monday reading through all of these proposals. I came up with the same three top consultants, MSA, Vanderwall, and Grafe. Grafe was at 3, but MSA, actually I had Vanderwall in front of MSA. And again, you get to the point where you start to split hairs on this. And I tried to look at the metrics of it. I think we get more bang for the buck with Vanderwall, who's at 90,000, and they have 656 hours that they're investing in this, which works out to about $137 per hour. If you look at MSA, they're at 80,000 plus or minus at 514 hours. So all things being equal between MSA and Vanderwall, I just think that we get more better service, a better product with it seems like they're investing more time into it and doing a more thorough job. So I guess I would lean towards Vanderwall as far as my number one pick, and I would not recommend any interviews. I agree with Bridget. It's, I don't think we get anything more from an interview talking to them. So.
Okay, Josh, any thoughts?
My number one choice was MSA. I like the amount of people they have on the team. I like the format, at least on the how they laid it out here for us, and just easier for me to follow. I don't do this every day like those two, but it's the cleanest for me to follow, and I just like the presentation, the way it's laid out.
That was good.
Yeah, and I like the process that was followed with the review team. Again, GGF did that with a financial planner. We did it for the fire department, Fire Station 2, and we're doing it now. So I like the process that was in place. So thank you for doing that.
Certainly. If I could add just one thing real quick with regard to interviews, the one positive thing of interviews, particularly if we're, going to get the project manager to be the lead on that interview, You get a feel for that particular person who may be spending the most time, will be spending the most time on the project and how they can deal with certain situations. I mean, that's the benefit to me of an interview is the feel, the comfortableness with the particular individuals as opposed to their trying to value or compare qualifications and a project approach.
I would agree with you. That's the one thing that they all look very nice as far as the review. And I'd probably make a decision. My MSA was my first choice. However, I don't know any of them. If I saw them and talked to them, I don't know, that's just the thing. I'm not gonna be, I won't object or say, well, you didn't do what I asked to do. I feel fine with it, but it's just something I would do.
Bob?
Well, I know three of these firms, MSA and Vanderwall and Grafe, have been in the Milwaukee area forever. I worked with Grafe for 13 years. So they've got the home court advantage, so to speak. They're a known entity. They've been around here.
Yeah, I mean, in previous occupations, I've done a lot of work with Grafe. I like them, but they still were not my top choice out of all this, so.
The only caution I had with MSA is that they had some add-on services. For example, they talked about detail, if we wanted a detailed market analysis,
Right.
that was an add-on service. Or if we wanted to do community event pop-up booths, that's an add-on service. So again, it gets back to, well, do the other firms have that as part of their original? I don't know. I couldn't break that out.
Yeah, with regard to the market analysis, all of the firms did build in an allowance for doing some level of market analyses. And MSA was the only one that gave it sort of an optional two-step. We can do this basic analysis that would be used to help determine land use and quantity and relative location and what we're looking for down the road. And either validating the land uses that are generally prescribed in the 2050 plan or going in a different direction. So I think all of the firms from my evaluation provided that same level of market analysis initially, but MSA went the next step to offer at additional cost a much more thorough, robust market analysis.
It raises a yellow flag with me when you see firms in their RFPs submitting exclusionary scopes and that saying, well, we're not going to do this, but if you want this, it'll, increase your cost this much just to keep their bottom line low to begin with. So I hope that's not an indicator of how they operate.
Further discussion. Bridget?
I will say usually on the sewage district side, when they give us added values, that tends to be a separator between the firms and, additional scope we could add should we desire to in the future. Like how can they add additional value beyond what was outlined in the RFP? So for me, that was more of a positive than a yellow flag of, well, why are you putting a line in the sand already when we haven't even moved beyond the RFP stage?
And I see Vanderwall did the same thing for additional costs for design guidelines and FAQs. So-
Right. And there's another, I'm glad you brought that up. It's another point where all of the firms indicated that they would be providing, as required under the RFP, some level of design guidelines, either in a narrative form or illustrative examples of various things. It's the separate handbook approach that Vanderwall is promoting and offering as an add-on.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I can take us.
I would move that we accept the recommendation of the first place being MSA and move forward with that.
Second?
Great. Discussion?
That, we decided if we wanted to do interviews or not.
We did not. We did. I think we're all,
I think we agreed not
we're
to.
all aligned that no interviews.
I would do it, but that doesn't mean I would vote no if we didn't.
Okay, so we wouldn't have, because we're not going to do it, it's not.
Correct. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries and
So now the next step is it goes to the board next week.
goes to the village board and we'll have MSA do a presentation to the village board.
Okay.
So
Is that what you want them
I do.
at the,
Yeah.
on the 19th?
Yeah.
Okay. If for some reason they can't make that, should we?
we can push it back to
Push
the
it,
board.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should alter my motion. Well, this is very simple.
So it's, it's 7:07. We can talk about what happened in the second half of the Packer Bear game.
It's not on the
Because
agenda.
this is a record plan commission meeting, or we could adjourn. I think we'll adjourn, 7:07. Thank you all for coming tonight. Drive home safe and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. I'll do
Sorry.
that right away.
I just had a
I was gonna say.